John the 8th chapter, the 32nd verse says, Jesus answered them, saying, Verily, verily, I say unto you, whosoever committeth sin is the servant of sin. I want to go up to the 32nd verse. I apologize. The 32nd verse says, and ye shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free. That's where I wanted to go. And you shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free. Verse 33 now says, they answered him, we be Abraham's seed, and we're never in bondage to any man. How sayest thou, ye shall be made free? Then I will go to 34th verse. Jesus answered them, Verily, verily, I say unto you, whosoever committeth sin is the servant of sin. Do you hear me? In other words, if you commit sin, then you are the servant of sin. Because in verse 32 it said, and ye shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free. Guess what? The truth is the word of God. The truth is you're free because of the blood that was shed on Calvary. And if you go back into sin, you deny the blood that was shed. Come on. So we got to stay out of bondage. We got to stay out of our past. We all know we had past lives. We all know we had past sins. We don't have to continue in sin. That talks about that in Romans. Shall we continue in sin that grace may abound? God forbid, it says. Let's look at Romans the 6th chapter. Romans the 6th chapter. Hallelujah. Glory be to God. God, I thank you. Romans the 6th chapter, verse 12. It says, let not sin therefore reign in your mortal body, that ye should obey it in the lust thereof. Neither yield your members as instruments of unrighteousness unto sin, but yield yourselves unto God as those that are alive from the dead, and your members as instruments of righteousness unto God. For sin shall not have dominion over you, for ye have not under the law, but under grace. What then? Shall we sin because we are not under the law, but under grace? God forbid. That's what we was talking about. We shouldn't sin because we're under grace. God forbid. Verse 16. Know ye not that to whom ye yield yourselves servants to obey, his servants ye are to whom ye obey, whether of sin unto death or of obedience unto righteousness. But God be thanked that ye were the servants of sin, but ye have obeyed from the heart that form of doctrine which was delivered you. Now this is the key verse, verse 18. Being then made free from sin, ye became the servants of righteousness. Now watch this. So now when you begin to be made free, you become the servants of righteousness. In other words, to do the will of God, to do what's right, to stop allowing your flesh to dictate the pace. A lot of time our flesh tells us to do thus and so instead of doing the will of God. Our flesh tells us to hate instead of love. our flesh tells us to do those things that are not in the will of God. So we're outside the will